Hey, so this is my first list episode. Something new I want to try out. Something I could do a little shorter. Yeah, just gonna see how this works out. So welcome to Cold Cut List. Is that a good name? I'm going with it. Whatever. Let's run with it. Run with it. So, The Legend of Korra. I love the entire Avatar franchise, from Last Airbender all the way through Legend of Korra. I love it all. And the one thing the whole Avatar series really excelled at was their villains. They always gave their villains more depth than other shows. They'd give it from their perspective, learn more about the villain you're actually fighting against. And since Avatar is done and gone forever, I decided I'm going to do a list of all the best Legend of Korra villains. Now, I'm choosing Legend of Korra villains only because the villains from Avatar were kind of just mostly evil firebenders. In my opinion, the villains from Legend of Korra have a lot more depth and contrast to them. I think it's more interesting to look at them. So, let's move on to the list. Just a heads up, we are talking about the characters in full, so there will be spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, sorry. So let's start from the worst. Season 2's Unalaq. Now, Unalaq is Korra's uncle and also the leader of the water tribes. And from the time he's introduced, he might as well have this big sign on his forehead that says, "I'm the villain." They tried framing it like it's gonna be a twist, but it's completely obvious, man. We know he's gonna be the villain. In my opinion, he is the worst villain in all of Avatar. He is the most flat and boring villain to ever come on the screen for Avatar. You could compare him to Ozai, but at least Ozai was voiced by Mark Hamill and had a really awesome kick-ass fight scene. Unalaq was unimpressive and underwhelming. His goal is to fuse with the embodiment of evil to become an evil avatar. He blatantly calls himself evil. It's just cartoonish. I expect more from the villains in the Avatar series, and Unalaq never lived up to anything comparing to any other villain. Now, I'm putting Vaatu down with him here because Vaatu is basically just the embodiment of evil. He's not really a character at all. He's kind of like this person who's just like, hey, I'm the embodiment of evil, and if you let me out of this tree, I will, be evil for you guys. So, because I'm evil. I'm the embodiment of evil. Let me out of the tree. Now, right above Unalaq, we have Amon. I understand why a lot of people love Amon. I love him too. He's this awesome character. He has an amazing design. His powers are cool and interesting, and his voice actor, Steve Blum, is amazing. He's super mysterious, and the entire first season, you're like, I want to learn more about this guy. I want to find out who he really is. The problem is when you find out who he really is. He's the son of a crime boss who the Avatar stopped from taking over Republic City, and so now he's back to take over Republic City for his dad he didn't really like, I think. He was a cool villain, don't get me wrong, but on an emotional level, I never really connected with him, Amon did it for me for most of it, and at the end there, he kind of just dropped off a bit. At number 2, we have Kuvira. Kuvira is from Season 4, and she's a strong-willed woman. She is smart, she is cold, and she gets shit done. At the end of Season 3, the Earth Queen is dead, and the Earth Kingdom is in complete disarray. She takes it upon herself to go out and recombine the states into the Earth Kingdom. Using force, she offers protection with her army. If you don't listen to her, she's just going to leave you to die. Again, her goal was to unite the Earth Empire and to cast off the old regime, the old Earth Kingdom. And when you look at it from their perspective, the Earth Kingdom royal family was all complete garbage. Every person from the royal family you meet in the Avatar series, from beginning all the way through, from Airbender to Korra, you see the Earth King, this bubbling fool who doesn't even know the war is still going on. You see Wu, who's this complete idiot. And you have the Earth Queen, who's this selfish woman who's taxing her people to the bones. Kuvira is a manipulative person who's able to get whatever she wants. She takes over the Earth Kingdom largely unopposed, and those who do oppose her are quickly put down. Kuvira is willing to do anything to get what she wants. She starts re-education camps, slave labor camps. She has weapons of mass destruction from spirit vines. And she was willing to just cold-heartedly kill her fiancé to get what she wants. She's an evil person who wants to control and rule over the Earth Kingdom because in her self-centered point of view, she knows what's best, and she's gonna do what's best for these people, whether they like it or not. Also, she makes a giant fucking mecha suit with a laser gun on it, which is fucking cool, and she takes over Republic City, so that was pretty awesome. Her fights were fun, and her dialogue was amazing. She's a manipulative person who is incredibly fun to watch her outsmart her opponents, outclass her opponents, and at sometimes she's just incredibly hard to root against. Which brings me to my number one villain, Zahir. Voiced by the awesome Henry Rollins, who embodies this role so perfectly. When you're first introduced to Zahir, he doesn't have any bending powers. He is this martial arts master who is locked away in a max security prison on a cliff. He's in this giant metal cage. The White Lotus are so afraid of him, they put him in one of the craziest prisons ever. And he's not even a bender. At the end of Season 2, Korra triggers something called harmonic convergence, which gives a bunch of people throughout the world airbending powers, because whatever. And one of the people to receive these powers is Zahir. Now, Zahir is in prison for leading a group called the Red Lotus, who is a group of anarchists who try to kidnap Korra in order to train her in their ways. They failed, of course, and were locked away. Zahir's the first antagonist we ever see using airbending, and he's incredibly skilled at what he does. He's not a traditional airbender because he was never traditionally trained. He learned from his own martial arts skills and by just kind of picking up what he can. He was already incredibly skilled in martial arts, and he studied airbending teachings a lot before he was ever a bender. So he was the perfect person to receive these powers, or rather, the worst person to receive these powers. Unlike other airbenders who use more of a pacifist kind of way to fighting people, more of a dodge, maneuver, kind of just wear your enemy out, Zahir is a lot more violent. His way of airbending is something we've never seen before in the show, and it is so exciting to watch. We never had before airbenders fighting each other. We always had just Aang as an airbender. Or earlier in Korra, you had Tenzin and his children, but you never saw airbenders fight each other. You saw other elements fight. You saw earthbenders fighting earthbenders all the time. Firebender on firebender, waterbender on waterbender. But this is the first time you ever get to see an airbender use his powers to their full extent, testing themselves against their own element. But that's not the reason Zahir is my top villain. Zahir is my top villain because his ethos and his ideals are so strong. Zahir believes the world should be free of its world leaders, that the world leaders they have been oppressing people and causing them to lead miserable lives, which, if you look at it from his perspective, is entirely true. Think about it. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, you have the Fire Lords causing a 100-year war. You also have the Earth Kingdom royal family, who, as I mentioned earlier, is completely inept and horrible running their government. You have leaders throughout this show who abuse their power and use it to hurt people rather than help them. Zahir wants to put an end to that. He wants to give people the right and the power to help themselves and to not be oppressed by these people. Unlike every other villain in the show who wants some personal glory from it, he refuses to even give his name to the people he helps. He doesn't want them to worship him. He wants them to learn how to live their own lives. Once his girlfriend gets her head blown off, which is brutal for this show. I mean, Season 3 was brutal. It was awesome. After his girlfriend dies, he is able to let go his earthly tethers and he can fly. Something only one airbender throughout history had ever been able to achieve. Zahir tops my list of best villains because he's a villain who sometimes you have to question, is this guy a villain? Many of the times what he's saying is entirely correct. He's not trying to manipulate you. He's not trying to force you into anything. He is telling you the truth. He has a mission and he has a goal, and he will do anything to make that dream he has become a reality. So that's my worst to best list of Legend of Korra villains. Tell me what you think. Comment down below. Tell me who your favorite villain is. Tell me why. What do you think makes a good villain? Is it witty dialogue? Is it badassery, just their moves and their fighting style, being able to beat the shit out of someone? Is it their ideals? Is it their ethos? What do you think makes a good villain, and who are your favorite villains? Comment, let me know. Also like, share, subscribe, do all that shit you knew I was going to tell you to do anyway, honey. And yeah, that was my list. Thank you for watching, and have fun, guys. Hey guys, if you like this video, you may like these other videos I did, like this one on the differences between Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You can check that out. Click the button right here, right on this beautiful page. You can also subscribe. There's a button for that. I also have social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, the works. You can go to there, go check that out. Follow me on that. I don't do much, but yeah, get updates and whatnot. Who knows? So yeah, again, thanks for watching. Click the video.
But you guys are a bunch of schmucks. Playing these guys was a real crime. We quit, for real this time.